this past weekend, I was up at a plant sale up in Asheville, North Carolina, about an hour north of me. It was the Asheville Master Gardeners and the Asheville Blue Ridge Rose Society, which is a wonderful local rose society. And I got some nice roses, an old Gallica called Bellard from before 1842. Lovely rose, Honorine de Brabant, striped bourbon, great fragrance. I've always really liked this rose. And I also got one called Sweet Hips, which is a Ragosa that did extremely well at the Biltmore trials. And I was really pleased that I restrained myself so well. No, I did not restrain myself so well. I'm a plant person. What the hell do you think is going to happen? But what this got me thinking about is, how do I approach my garden? Now, normally when you design a garden, and that's what we want to talk about, is how to design a garden. You say, okay, I have my piece of paper, and I'm going to do my color groupings here, I'm going to plan it all out very carefully. Well, if you're like me and you collect roses, for example, you don't really buy by color, you buy by what you want. I bought Honorine because I love it. I bought, the Bellard because this interests me. Marvelous fragrance. So this is when I use the perennials to tie the whole garden together. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So because I don't plan my roses and what I'm going to get, again, I can't do that color scheme. So let's just say these are 3 random roses. These are the ones I picked up, and maybe I've got a red, an orange, and a white, or a pink in there, or a yellow, or whatever the case may be. So how do I tie this garden together and give it some cohesiveness? Enter the perennials. That's what I use them for. I have a limited palette of perennials that I actually use. So for example, this is a pink version of a penstemon that I adore called Penstemon Husker's Red. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful plant. So maybe I'll use this and kind of repeat this in the garden throughout, if you imagine this being a very large space. So now these perennials begin into cohesiveness to this random coloring of roses. Then I've got a bronze fennel here. Maybe that becomes part of the cohesiveness as well. And that begins to tie it all together and bring the garden together. Here I've got a Physostasia. Maybe that comes in here as well and begins to tie the garden together. So what I've got is, by random roses absolutely everywhere, I can then use these perennials to repeat throughout the entire garden. So that's my palette that basically is the glue that holds the garden together of this random chaos of these wonderful, wonderful roses that I love to collect. And I'm just going to get whatever I want. So that's basically the quick lesson I had today. Use perennials, repeat them with a limited palette to tie the garden together with the roses that you pick at random, because we all love them just because we love them. So thanks for having a potter in the garden with me today. Until we meet again, happy rosing.